Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. I'm Natasha and this is Life Lately with Natasha. I want to personally thank my faithful subscribers. I can't believe I've hit like 400. I think it's at 401 subscribers right now. Wow. Thank you for tuning in, seeing what's up with me. Thank you to those who stopped me like out in public, and it's still really weird to have that done, but it's just really cool to know that, you know, people are actually watching. And also for those who email me personally and feel safe enough to share things with me, ask me questions, I'm glad I can provide that for you. So what have I been up to lately? Well, as you can see, I have my trusty MacBook here. I think I mentioned briefly in my last video that I am working on something. I don't know if I said I was working on certification, but if I didn't, I am working on getting my certification. If I should say it. I'm gonna save it for now. I'm not ready to share exactly what it's in, but I'm working on getting my certification in something that is, it's a growing field. It's something that will never go away and that is needed in any industry. And I'm excited to be doing it. I'm a little, I don't even know if nervous is the word. It's not nervous. I guess it's a nervous excitement because it's something new. I have worked in tandem with this particular field of interest when I was a customer marketing specialist for a pharmaceutical company many moons ago. And it's just interesting to see like what's involved and, you know, how that particular job is done. So in learning, I'm learning a lot. Almost, you know what else I'm learning? I'm learning even more things about myself. Shout out to, you know, my good friend Meeks, who so often holds my feet to the fire and really hold a mirror up to my face. And I'm learning more things about myself as I'm going through this process. I've been, aside from, you know, doing my meditations with Nikki, and I think I've shared that with you guys before, I have also been getting back into just meditating on the word, even though I have a physical Bible. That thing is heavy, but I also have my Bible on my phone, and it's like it helps bring me back to my center, because I've been reeling, y'all. I have been reeling, and whenever what I like to call bring myself back to the center, what that looks like for me is more prayer, more meditation, and really tuning in with God. And every time I do that, it's like the scales will pull back from my eyes and I really see how he's moving and how things unfold and things just happening. Like, man. Woo-wee. Let's see. All right, testimony time. So the other day I got paid, right? Got paid. Y'all know, you know, you may not know this, but as flight attendants, we get paid, well, for this particular carrier, we get paid twice a month on 2 specific dates. And the second check is usually a little bit bigger than the first one, because it includes our per diem. If you happen to be a purser on any of your pairings, it includes that purser pay in addition to, and if you worked over your minimum, that money is there too. So it's a tad bit bigger. Not that much bigger, but it's bigger. But I got paid. Let me tell you something, y'all. Let me tell you something. It's not even me a matter of working from paycheck to paycheck. It's a matter of me working from paycheck to 8 hours from now. 8 hours from that. And I'm not even exaggerating. I got paid, and once I took care of what I needed to get taken care of, y'all was down to $29. Just like that. And I still needed money to have gas, still needed money to get food. I still needed money there was another bill hanging out there somewhere. Y'all, and I was like, what in the world? What in the world? What is this? And, and I sat long and hard, and man, I have a cousin of mine that I'm very close to. He's like my brother, and we're really close. And God bless him, he has a whole family. Like, he has like a kid in college, and still got others to take care of at the house. And plus, he's married. He has a whole family, y'all. He has responsibilities. And sometimes he has, not even sometimes, a lot of times he has come through for me even without asking. When I need help, which is sometimes very hard for me to ask for help, I think really long and hard before I make that call. Really, it takes a long time for me to be like, old phones, but in this case, cell phone, it takes a long time for me to be like, but I needed help. I'm like, listen, $29, y'all, and I still need to get, listen. So anyway, I texted him, and he was not able to respond quickly, which I get because he's working. The average Joe is at work right now. Meanwhile, I'm at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So I continued on doing what I was doing, and actually I was studying. And then right in the middle of one of my lessons, I get a call from another really good friend of mine. And she says to me, "Hey Tosh, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm studying, whatever." She said, "Hey, listen, if you want me to pay for your course, I will. I can do that. I can loan you the money and, take care of it." I said, "What?" I said, "Hold on, wait, huh?" Now, right before all of that happened, and I paid everything, took care of my bills, whatever, and was left with this $29. And I was like, you know what, God? You take care of it, because you see what's happening here. And I'm like, what? Put a pin right there. So I'm going to come back to that. With this course that I'm taking, I started out with Coursera, right? I started out with Coursera, and I wanted, me being patient. One of the things I learned about myself, well, I've known this about myself for a long time. I'm very impatient, and I wanted, once I made up my mind about something, I'm ready to jump in all 10 toes. And I was like, it's too much fluff. It's like, it's taking too long. I want to get to this because, I'm on this timetable and this and that. And so I switched from Coursera to this platform called Course Careers. And so I went to Course Careers, and sure enough, it threw me into the deep. And as I was doing the stuff, I would do it, and I would understand something, but then I would be really stuck because I don't understand why I'm doing it. Because I'm literally following this instructor, pre-recorded by the way, following him. I'm doing what he's doing, and he's not breaking down why he's doing what he's doing. And I'm just following along. And I'm like, okay, well, why did I do that? And I can't figure out this. And I'm working on Excel and he's doing Google Sheets. So I'm like, what the heck? And I'm calling my homegirl and I'm crying and I'm telling her, and she's like, okay, hold on. So she's like, it sounds like there's no theory or foundation behind what you're doing. You need that. So we're examining the course. I'm showing it to her because we're talking to each other on FaceTime. And she's like, yeah, nah. And so meanwhile, I'm sticking to my guns because I'm like, forget it. I'm just going to get, the name of the course for dummies. And, and I'm going to keep on trucking. In the meantime, my home was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I kept going. And the more I kept going, I was like, okay. Now, granted, both of these was on free trials. Coursera was on a free trial. It was a 7-day, but this other one, Course Careers, is on a 14-day free trial. And I was in the middle of it. Excuse me. As I'm doing it, right? As I'm doing it, still not understanding what's happening. And I thought to myself, man, I really did. I thought to myself, I should probably go back to Coursera because granted, that so-called fluff that I was talking about was actually the theory and foundation that I needed in order to understand what I'm doing. So I said, all right, let me make the switch. So I did some research to see if I can get my refund back. Because I had to put down $100 and then the whole thing was like $450. So I put down $100 and then after the free trial, it was going to take out additional $150 until I made up, the difference. So they said, oh yeah, you can get your refund back, but it has to be within the 14-day free trial window. I wasn't sure if I was still in that window because I completely forgot that I was doing this thing under a free trial. So I went and I looked. Y'all, let me tell you something. The very next day, the free trial was supposed to expire. No lie. Or as the kids say, no cap. Do y'all still say no cap? Anyway. So I was like, okay, good. So I went in, I requested the refund. And you know how it is when companies, it takes forever to get the refund. But I was like, whatever. I want the refund. I'm going back to Coursera. So I did that. End up talking to my homegirl again, and we revisit the same conversation. And I told her, what I was going to do, and it's so funny because she said the same thing about what I was thinking, which let me know that I was on the right track of what I was doing. Mind you, I've been praying through this whole thing while I'm doing this, right? So anyway, went back to Coursera. Coursera now, their monthly, it's like a monthly thing of like $59 or $49 a month, whatever. But I wanted to make sure I started on my payday. That way, whenever my check comes and that monthly fee comes out, it's already taken out and the money is there. Does that make sense? So at the time when I started back on Coursera, there was not enough to cover the monthly subscription. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So anyway, I kept doing it, kept doing the thing. And then when I finished one segment of the lesson, I went to the next one and it's asking me for this money. So I was like, oh. And that's when I thought about my cousin. And I thought, oh man, here we go. So I was like, you know what? Let me check my account. Y'all, I checked my account and guess what? That $100 refund was in there. Go ahead, say it with me. Look at God. Anywho. Yeah. So the refund was in there. So I was able to take care of my monthly fee with Coursera, which, by the way, is not even $59. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the fee was reduced, but it's down to $39. And I was like, praise the Lord. Okay, so that's taken care of. All right, getting back to the phone, the not mysterious, but the random phone call. Well, not really random because God. Anyway, but the phone call that came through from one of my really, really good friends, and she's talking to me, and I was like, she's like, yeah, I can loan you the money and I'll pay for your course, because I told her that I was doing this. I said, well, I don't need the money for the course because that has been taken care of, and I pretty much got her up to speed on me switching back to Coursera and what had happened and all the things. I said, but I do need a loan. So she's like, bet, no problem, I got you. And I just explained to her what happened and everything. She said, don't worry, I got you. So she's like, okay, I'm going to send you X, Y, and Z. And so her husband's sitting next to her. He's like, man, throw in an extra such and such. I was like, what? Immediately started crying because, yeah, immediately just started crying. And she was like, Tasha, I understand. She's like, it's hard out here. I get it. You know, she's like, we ain't rich, but, you know, if we have it and we can help, we'll help. And I just thought that that was just beautiful. And see, this is why I want to be in a better place financially so that I can do that for somebody. Y'all, when I tell you that how many people have randomly sent me money or randomly called me or just, and I hate using the word random because I don't believe in accidents. I really believe that God in his own way speaks to people and impresses upon them to bless somebody. That's why when somebody wants to bless you, don't refuse that. Don't, just let them, because God impressed upon that person to bless you with whatever it is. Just receive it and say thank you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in a position where you can do it for someone else, pay that thing forward. You feel me? So anyway, that happened. So I was able to put gas in my car, actually fill it with the proper gasoline. My car only accepts high octane. Y'all, sometimes I just don't have enough to fill it and I'll do like regular. I hope I'm not jacking up my car by doing that, but sometimes I just don't have the choice. I just don't. So I'll put regular, like $10, you know, just enough to, you know, whatever, get me to where I need to go. And that's it. But I was able to fill my tank with my premium, you know, get some groceries, take care of a couple of other bills that were hanging out. And guess what else happened? So my cousin reached back out to me and he's like, yo, what's up? He's like, I was on the floor. Can I get you? I said, no worries. I understand. He's like, no. Tell me, what's up? And so I explained to him what was going on. He's like, man, Tosh, look, let me tell you something. Because he's on, I put my cousin on my companion pass. So he's able to fly a lot, go see his parents, you know, because they're older, and just basically get to where he needs to go. And that's my boy. I'll do that for him any day of the week, right? And he was like, look, as much the way you're helping me out to put me in a position where I can just get on a plane at any given time and just go, it's like, I got you without hesitation. I said, I understand that, but I also understand that you have a whole family, bruh, and it takes me a long time. He's like, listen, let me tell you something. This is what he said. He said, there have been times when I just want to send you money, but I don't want you, because we've had this conversation before, I don't want to offend you or what have you. I don't, you're like, well, dang, I want to send her this, but I don't want her to be offended, you know. I said, listen, let me tell you something. From here on out, if you feel so impressed, and I'm taking my own advice that I just gave you, if you feel so impressed to bless me whenever you feel, go ahead and send that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, bet. So anyway, at the end of the conversation, we got off the phone, and maybe like a few hours later, he dropped some cheddar on me. And I was like, and the funny thing is, when I was down to my $29, I had a number in my head of what I needed to just take care of my basic necessities. And y'all, wouldn't you know, that number came without me even asking these individuals exactly what it came, and then some. It met that number. God met that number and then some. Y'all. So yeah, it's been a 48-hour avalanche of blessings. You know, and I'm just looking forward to the day when I can turn around and do the same for somebody and just be like, you need what? Here, don't even worry about it. I got you. And this is why I'm working so hard to get this certification, so I can position myself in a better financial situation. Because if I'm really being honest, being a flight attendant is not putting, I'm speaking for myself. Let me preface that by saying being a flight attendant is not doing that. It's just not. So until I get this certification, I will continue to show up. I will continue to do my best, give my passengers my best, be an amazing, co-worker, and all of that until my situation gets better. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Just wanted to share that with y'all. I really hope that my testimony uplifted somebody or inspired you to bless somebody, but also at the same time, if you're a person who has an issue with pride, who has an issue with asking for help, I really hope that me sharing with you what I shared about my personal experience will help you to be like, you know what? Let me stop being stubborn. Let me stop blocking my blessings, as they say, and go ahead and receive that help or ask for it. You know what I mean? I also hope too that it inspires you to get more in tune, like align yourself with the divine, I'm telling you, y'all, God is constantly, He's always speaking. Really, He's always communicating with us. The question is are we sitting still long enough to actually hear and move in obedience? I've been praying about this, making the decision to get this certification for a while. And, y'all see my videos. I wake up every morning in my this is an answered prayer. This apartment where it's at, this job, the location. I pray for all of this. I wake up in my answered prayer, and I am grateful. I am. I am very grateful. What it has shown me is that prayer actually works. And I think in one of my videos, I said to you guys, once I realized what the real deal was, in this position, I was like, Lord, did you open these doors to show me that maybe this ain't it? Like, did you let me walk through all this to show me that? You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe in accidents. I believe the way that God deals with me is intentional, and maybe, I have to go through this to learn some more things about myself and about how He works, so yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the day when I share with you guys what I got my certification in, and when I come out on the other side victorious, and all the wonderful things that are going to come from me completing another milestone. I'm looking forward to that day, and I hope that it would inspire someone to, take a chance. If your situation isn't giving what it needs to give, sometimes you just have to have a come to Jesus moment and be honest with yourself and ask yourself some hard questions. pray about it and move accordingly. Sometimes God will allow you to be so uncomfortable that it forces you to be like, all right. And once you say like, I feel like sometimes he's like waiting for us to be like, all right. And that's when he just start moving, opening doors and closing some, But anyway, I think I've talked long enough. But anyway, I just wanted to just pop in here and chat for a little bit. But anywho, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And what else? Feel free to comment if you want to email me personally, ask me some questions, or just, feel like you want to vent or you need an ear. My email is lifelately.natasha@gmail.com. All right. Anyway, I need to get at it, get studying. I actually have a day off today. And I'm going to spend some time studying, and I'll be back in the sky tomorrow. All right, guys. See you on the next one.